Okay, now pay attention. Absolute silence. Thank you. Where's the chalk? Where's the chalk? Where's the chalk? Okay, so this question, the problem is that this point is suppose A, this point is B, the potential difference between point A and B is 11 volts. This point is same as that point electrically, and even that point is same as this point electrically. Why? The reason is, tell me the exact reason. There is no resistance, so whatever current is flowing, the potential drop from here to there is 0. Potential drop is given by I into R, right? So current may be something, say 5 amperes, 10 amperes, whatever, like R is 0, therefore this potential and that potential is same. From here to there again no resistance, some other current, but I into R is again 0, so this potential, that potential same, this potential, that potential same, right? Now similarly this point is till here, that point. I don't know the potential difference across this, hence I cannot calculate the current in this unless until I know the potential difference. So what I'll do is I'll try to reduce the circuit. These two will become how much? How much? 6 by 5 ohms. Using what? 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 is equal to 1 by R. And this one is in series with these two or in parallel with those two? Okay, so how much is that? 1 ohm. Okay. Now the total resistance is now how much? These two together, it is 11 by 5. So if you are reducing the circuit like this, you will never go wrong. You have to draw. Don't do everything in your mind. Big circuits you won't be able to do. As your 11 volts. Now I can say safely that this potential difference is that potential difference, right? Hence, what is the current in this? So the current in this is 5 amperes. That means current coming out of the battery must be 5 amperes, going back to the battery must be 5 amperes. I'll come back to this circuit. Okay. This also the current must be coming out as 5 amperes. Will go through this, 5 amperes will go through this, no other option. Okay. It's like a queue, traffic line. Now next one also, it has to go, the whole current has to go. Can it stop anywhere? No, it can't stop. It can only divide, but there is no other path to divide. So fully it has to go through this also, comes out and goes back to the battery. Okay, battery's job is to collect the charge on one side and put it on the other side. It keeps on flowing. Get the point? Any doubt? Now using your V is equal to IR, at every stage I'll try to use my V is equal to IR, Ohm's law, and find whatever current. If current is not known, I'll find the current. If voltage is not known, I'll try to find the voltage. What is the voltage across this? V is equal to IR, I into R, I into R. So it comes out to be the potential difference across these 2 points. Okay. So I'll mark it like this. Potential difference across this point is 6 volts. Okay. Across these two, 5 into 1, how much is that? 5 volts. So what is the total potential difference? It reduces by 6 and reduces by 5 more. So total reduction is, total drop we say is 11 volts. Is it matching? Hence our calculations are right. Okay, you can calculate in 2-3 ways all these circuits. Getting the point? You can always cross check each stage. You will never go wrong. Now I'll go on to the main circuit. Okay. Which was this point in the main circuit? Seems to be this point or not? From here that resistance started. Okay, and which is this point in the main circuit? Where the parallel stack ended, this point. So I see that the potential difference across these 2 points is 6. And what are these 2 points in the main circuit? This one and this one. This is 5 volts. Okay, current in this is 5 amperes. So it is as such the same ohm, same resistance. So it is 5 amperes only. Okay. 5 ampere is coming out of the battery. 5 ampere is going here. Then it is getting divided. And our job is to find how much it is going in this and that. Right? So I know the potential difference across these 2 points is 6. And this point is same as this point as we discussed. And this point, say C, is same as this point or not? So potential difference because across AC is 6, so AC is 6, right? So we know the V across this now this time. Instead of knowing R, we know the V across this. V is 6 volt. So how much will be I? Using V is equal to IR again. 2 amperes or not? 2 amperes. And then in this one, 3 amperes. 1 second. So it is 3 amperes in this, right? Because this potential difference is again 6 volts. This point is again C. Any doubt? Any doubt in this? Any doubt? Nikhil, ask me. Ask me if you have doubt. Okay? So, we see that the total ampere which is coming is getting divided into 2 and 3. Is the addition of 2 and 3 5? That means it is, the calculations are correct. Any doubt? You'll have to do in similar way only all the questions. I'll give you one more question, do it very fast so that I can move on to next type of question. If you have doubt, you ask me. Otherwise, you'll not be able to do the next question. Ask. No problem, ask. Anybody? Nobody? No questions? Good. Then you must be able to do the next one. You should be doing it. If you're not, something's wrong. Follow the similar steps, okay? I'll give you almost the same question, ditto same question, okay? Nothing new in this. I know. So this time we have 3 resistances in parallel, 1, 2, 3 ohms, 2 ohms, 2 ohms and 1 ohm and a battery of 28 volts. Okay, you have to find out the current in each resistance. So you have to do the same steps what you did for this one. First thing is get the total current coming out of the battery and then you see what is the potential drop across the different stacks of parallel resistance. What is the potential drop across this, what is the potential drop across that and that. Get the point? Is it clear? Your first job is to make an equivalent circuit which is simpler than this. Find out the effective resistance of these 3 resistances. By the way, the effective resistance will be more than 3, around 2, less than 1, between 1 and 2, what? Less than 1. Why? 1 is the least resistance in the parallel stacks, the total resistance is lesser than the least one, right? So how much is it coming out to be? 6 by 11 ohms. Must be right, less than 1, okay? These two together, how much? 1. And this one? 1 ohm. What do you think? What is the total resistance offered by the circuit? 6 by 11 plus 1 plus 1. So So you get 28 by 11. Have you calculated? Okay. Voltage of the battery is 28. Okay. 28 by 11 is the total resistance. So what is the current flowing? Current flowing, V is equal to IR. V is 28. IR is 28 by 11. 28 and 28 gets cancelled. I is equal to 11 amperes or not? Such lovely values I am giving you. Thank me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Relax. So what's your next job, madam? What's your name again? Meghna. Tell me. Then find it. How much is the potential drop across this one? 6 volts. Okay. This one is. How much is the potential drop across that? 11. You get it using what is the current going through that resistance and what is the resistance of that resistance. How much is the current going through that resistance? 11 ampere. What is the resistance? 6 by 11. You multiply the two, you get the potential drop across the resistance. This formula is only for potential drop across the resistance. Mind you, get the point. Do not think it is battery voltage, this and that. So this, you get 6 volt. For this, you get again whole 11 amperes are going through it, and you get 11 volts across this. And how much across this? 11 volt across this. So let me see our calculations are right or not. 6 plus 11 gives 28. So you can proceed further. What is the next job? Go back to the main circuit, identify the potential drop what you have marked over here. Okay? So in the main circuit, the 6 volt appears where? This is your 6 volts or not? This potential is your 6 volts. And this one is your 11 volts. And this one not required. We have already found out the current. Still it is 11 volts. Okay? Right? Right? The last job is to get the current in each of the resistances. Okay? Get it? Get fast. 6 across this means 6 over here. 6 over here means the current in this is 6 by 1, 6 amperes. In this one, 6 by 2, 3 amperes. In this one, 6 by 3, 2 amperes. Let us cross check. 6 plus 3 plus 2, 11. That means it is absolutely right. 11 was coming and got divided into 6, 3 and 2. Right? For the other one, what will be the division? You don't even have to calculate. They are equal resistances. So both must take up equal current or not? So this is 5.5 amperes and this is also 5.5. They again go and join back, become 11 again, and 11 goes through this. Any doubt? You can also see that the least resistance is having the highest current and the highest resistance is having the least current. Right? All those things you can see and appreciate. Okay? Okay. Done? Would you be able to do these kind of questions? 1 or 2 of this kind will be there. First question in your exercise is this one, I think. First or second one. The assignment given to you. Something like this, right? No? Oh, that was just the resistance. Okay. So this is one thing. Next thing is completely different topic, that is heating effect of current. Now somebody tell me, does current have any heating effect? That means if current is passing through a conductor, is it likely to cool down the conductor or heat the conductor? Why? Why? Yes, Tanya? Anybody? Why does current flowing in a conductor heats up the conductor? Friction between what? It is mainly because of the collision of the electrons with the other electrons. Here's the point. They collide the collisions may not be elastic collision and they lose energy. Okay, the energy is dissipated out in the form of heat or light. Okay, light is also in fact a form of heat. You know that or not? I mean, heat radiations, if it is not in the visible range, if it is in the visible range, we call it light. If it is not in the visible range, we simply call it heat radiation. Get the point? Like if you have a very hot body, who is the hottest guy over here? What is a hot body in this class? Suppose Vinci is a hot body. And nobody can imagine that Vinci is the name of a guy, right? Huh? Vinci, suppose you are a hot body. What are you doing? You are radiating out. Any body which has got any temperature above 0 Kelvin radiates out heat. You know that? Any body above 0 Kelvin is a hot body in physics. Do you know that? If you don't know it now. Even a body at minus 180 degrees Celsius is a hot body in physics. It radiates out some heat. Okay? That radiation of the heat, like any person over here is radiating out heat due to his or her temperature, that radiation will be in the range of anybody? Radio waves or microwaves or at the max infrared rays. Get the point? Not in the visible light. Get the point? If I take Vinci and put him in an oven and start heating him up, what will happen? Slowly he will become red hot. Why? His temperature increases and he starts radiating heat in the range of red light. It comes from radio waves to micro, then infrared, then red light. You heat him more, he will start radiating brighter lights, like it will go towards the yellow range and become white hot also at a time. Very hot, blue. And then again still hotter, no color. You have gone to the ultraviolet range. Get the point? That is clear or not? So, current flowing in a conductor, current which is flowing in a conductor is producing heat. Can you give me an example in your house where current flowing in a conductor is giving out heat? Huh? Bulb. Okay, if an example is asked for heat, you write heat. Okay, you write something which is giving out heat, not light. Bulb is also correct, it is giving out heat as well as light. Light is a form of heat. Anything else? What? Heater coil. Okay, very good. Something giving out heat is a heater. Good example, very good. And using electrical energy, something giving out heat, electrical heater. Right? Best example. Okay, that's right. Electrical heater is one. Geyser is the most common thing you are using in your house. Right? It has got a filament. The filament is made up of what? Tungsten is in bulb generally. Okay, why tungsten? It doesn't melt. Even at a very high temperature, it doesn't melt. Okay, so use tungsten. So in a heater, what is it? It's an alloy. It's nichrome, nickel chromium alloy, which is called nichrome. Okay, nichrome also doesn't melt and can sustain a lot of heat. Okay, so if current is going through a resistance, I current going through say R resistance will create a potential drop of how much? V is equal to IR potential drop it will create. If I ask you how much heat it has generated while passing through the resistance, can you tell me? Using some facts which we have already done in the first class. We had a little relation between potential energy, work done and potential, those things we had done, remember? Now potential is figuring over here also. I want you to relate potential with heat. If you can relate potential with work, it's the same thing. Work and heat is the same thing or not? Units are same. If you do work, it what happens? It gets converted into energy. Here it is getting converted into heat energy. Okay. So whatever is the loss of work is the heat energy which is getting liberated. Is it clear? So can you relate it? What was the formula in the first class? Tell me, anybody? The work thing was equal to what in terms of potential? Q into V. Right? Right? Now I want in terms of potential and current, then I can convert, I can write Q in terms of current or not. How much charge is being, this was what? Work was what? This is point A, this is point A and point B. The amount of work done in moving charge Q from this point to that point was the energy stored in the body or the potential energy difference. Okay. So how much charge is going through this? That can you tell me in terms of current? Work was being done in moving a charge. Okay. So what is the charge over here? If I current is flowing, what is the charge? I into T or not? If 4 ampere flows for 4 seconds, how much charge has been transported? 4 amperes for say 1 second, how much charge? 4 coulomb or not? What is the relation? I is equal to Q by T. So Q is equal to I into T. Okay. Ampere is nothing but charge flowing per second, coulombs per second. 4 coulombs per second is called 4 amperes. So for 4 seconds it is flowing, then how much? 16. 4 into 4, 16 coulombs. Getting the point? So if I want to write this Q in terms of I and T, this formula will become VI into T. This IT is your Q. Right? 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 This is the work performed, or this is the heat generated. This is the heat liberated. Any doubt about this? Any doubt? The heat given out in a resistance is given by the formula H is equal to VIT. Okay? Now you can have different formula for this. Instead of V, I can write a IR over here or not? Instead of V, if I write IR, what does it become? IR into I, it becomes I square R into T. Instead of I, if I write V by R, what does it become? V square by R into T. So we have got 3 formulae for the same thing. Okay, all 3 are correct. You have to apply it correctly. Okay, sometimes in some schools, some teachers are saying when this is there, when this situation is there, apply this formula. When that situation is up there, apply that formula. All 3 formulas are same. Get the point? All 3 are same. You should be applying in such a way such that whether you apply this, this or this, you are getting the same answer. You are getting the same correct answer. Get the point? Now, I see that if more is the current, then more is the heat liberated. Okay, higher the current, higher is the heat liberated. What can you say about resistance? More is the resistance, more is the heat, or less is the resistance, less the heat? What? What about this? Heater and all, generally they try to keep very less resistance. Then only there is a lot of heat generated. Lesser resistance means more current, and more current means more heat. But if I look at this formula, I see that more resistance gives me more heat. Get the point? So if they ask you in school or anywhere in the exams, if you get this, that how does it depend on resistance, don't write more resistance, more heat, or less resistance, more heat. Write if the current flowing is constant to the resistance, then more is the resistance, more is the heat. If the potential difference is constant, then less is the resistance. Oh my God, you'll write it down or what? Just try to understand and move on, man. What? See, if I give you an appliance, if I give you a certain appliance, a heater, if I give you a certain appliance, a certain heater, say I say that this is 6 volt, it is a 2 ohm resistance heater Then how much is the current flowing through this? How much is the current flowing? 3, right? And what is the heat generated? 3 square into 2 into T, right? So how much is the heat generated in this case? 3 amperes are flowing. It is 3 square into 2 into T. It is 18 times the time. In 1 second 18 joules. In 2 seconds 18 into 2 joules. Get the point? If I say the same battery but I have a heater which has got 1 ohm resistance, then how much is the current flowing? 6 amperes or not? How much is the heat generated in this case? How much is the heat generated? It is 6 square into 1 into T. R has become less, current has become more. Eventually totally it has become more or not? Get the point? Square times more. Get the point? So what is the situation? The voltage was constant. Voltage I did not change. For the same voltage, if you reduce the resistance, you get more current and eventually more heat. Get the point? For constant voltage, lesser is the resistance, more is the heat. That is the case in your house. You have constant voltage all around. That is 220 volts in your house, right? So all these geyser and all, if you try to measure the resistance, it will be very, very less. They are heavy equipments, big equipments, but the resistance is very less. Get the point? Now, if I study this formula, then what is happening in this formula? Same example if I take, I'll say there is a 2 ohm resistance and say 2 amperes is flowing through it. How much is the heat generated? 2 square into 2. How much is that? 8 into T, right? And if I say that same current is flowing and I reduce the resistance to 1 ohm, then how much it is? 4. So obviously when the current is constant, then more is the resistance, more is the heat, less is the resistance, less is the heat. So when they ask you what is the dependency of heat, how much is the heat generated, how it is depending on the resistance, then you will have to explain both the things. Okay? This is a thing which is generally happening, practically happening in your house everywhere. Okay? You have constant voltage all around, not constant current. Get the point? Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, what is power, by the way? What is power? What? Ajay, you got the thing, how you got this formula? It's a work done formula again, QV formula again, which we discussed in so much detail in the first class. So the formula, that formula itself. Power is work done per unit time. So this thing per unit time or not. Hence the formula will be VI or I square R or V square by R. Okay. I'll do 2 or 3 questions based on this, and then there is a last type of question. That's it. Get the point? Is it clear? So write down. I'll do the exact same questions what I did for the other class, so that you people are equally confused or equally ready. Write down the question. There is a bulb. There is a bulb A, rated. What do you mean by rating of a bulb? Whatever electrical appliance you buy, it has got a stamping on it which tells you what is the wattage and what is the voltage you should apply on that. Okay. Suppose you get a certain appliance which works on 110 volt, you will not put it in this socket, right? You will have to convert the 220 to 110 and then only you can put it. Okay, so you will have to see what is the rating and then only you should use it. So 100 wattage, what do you mean by 100 watt or 60 watt or 120 watt, 200 watt? Like your TV in your house most probably is a 200 watt TV. Okay. What is what? What is what? Unit of power. Joules per second. This power unit is watt. Those units are joules. Joules per unit time, joules per second, rate of doing work is your power. Watt is the unit for that. Is it clear? Is it clear? What is the unit of power? I am telling you, what is the unit of power? Okay. What is the unit of power? I am telling you. Oh my God, I am not asking. I am telling you. Watt is a unit of power. Okay. Now, what was the question I am giving? Bulb A. Bulb A rated 100 watt, 220 volt. And bulb B rated, bulb B is rated 60 watt, 220 volt. Question number 1, they are put in parallel across a 220 volt supply. What is the total power? What is the total power? What is the total power? And heat energy, heat and light energy dissipated in 1 minute. Part 2, the two bulbs are put in series across a 220 volt supply. The two bulbs are put in series across a 220 volt supply. Again, you have to find the effective power, the total effective power dissipated, and the heat. 1 minute again. Okay. Let me see who does it. Okay. So, what was the question? Two bulbs. Bulb A. What is the rating? 100 watt and 220 volts. What you generally buy for your house. Okay. If you buy the normal bulbs nowadays, man. This is 60 watt and, just for general knowledge, which is brighter, man? Which of the two is brighter? If you want a bright bulb, 100 watt, right? If you want a bulb which is consuming less energy, you will buy a 60 watt or 40 watt bulb, right? Right? So, this is simply the power it is giving out, the heat it is giving out, light it is giving out, energy it is giving out per unit time. 100 watt, 100 joules per second it is giving. So, more it is giving, like halogens and all, they are like 500 watts and 1000 watt halogens. Okay, so the first part of the question was, part 1, they were put in parallel. Bulb A and bulb B, BA. Across what supply? In your house it is the AC supply, the symbol of AC supply is this, but I'll just make a normal battery for you, 220 volts supply. Okay? Okay? This is the question. Now, what do you mean by rating? Rating means, the stamping of the bulb means, if you apply this bulb across a 220 volt supply, if you give it 220 volts, it will give you 100 watt. If you don't give 220 volts, it will not give 100 watts. It is not that you cannot put it across any other volt. You can put it, it may blow off or it may not glow brightly. But if you put across 220 volt, it will give you 100 watts. If you put across 110 volts, it will give you less watt. Okay, maybe square times less, maybe 10 watt only, maybe half. We will calculate. Okay, maybe 50 watt only when you reduce the voltage. We will see what happens. Okay, so We'll see first how much is the voltage across each bulb. How much is the voltage across A? How much is the voltage across A? 220. And the rating is it wants 220 volt. That means you are giving it 220 volt. So it should give out how much watt? 100 watt it will give out normally or not. You don't have to calculate anything, right? And this one, this is also across 220 volt. Hence it will give you 60 watt. Again you don't have to calculate. Obviously when you are buying bulbs and putting in a house, we are putting in parallel. We don't have to calculate anything. It is rated 100 watt, it will give 100 watt. Okay, everybody is not a mathematician over here ki yeah, itna watt ho gaya, itna watt ho gaya. Getting the point? Whatever is the rating, that what it will give, provided you are putting in parallel. So all the equipment in your house, you are put in parallel. So that the voltage across each equipment is the same. Across this fan, across that tube light, all the appliances are put in parallel. This is your live wire running, this is your neutral wire running. The voltage across the live and neutral is 220, right? You keep on applying your appliance across live and neutral. You take out one wire from live, one from neutral and apply your appliance. So you get 220 volt for everything. Everything is in parallel in your house. So we'll discuss that household circuit later on. So the first question was damn easy. One is giving out 100 joules per second, the other one is giving out 60 joules per second. So totally it is giving out 160 joules per second. So it was asked in 60 seconds it will give out how much of joules, right? That was the question. So it will give out 160 into 60, right? Any doubt? The total power given out by both together is 100 plus 60 watt. That means 160 watt or joules per second. So the heat given out in 60 seconds, 1 minute, which is 60 seconds, is equal to how much? Is equal to 160 into 60, right? In 2 seconds it will give the double the heat. Joules. Any doubt? Any doubt? 160 watt means 160 joules per second. Watt, meaning of watt is joules per second. Okay? What? What did he say? Yeah. P it is. Power. Total power is 160 watts. 100 watt from the first bulb and 160 watt from the other bulb. Second one is heat. Heat in 60 seconds. Heat, H. Any doubt? Any doubt? The main problem is the other question. The other question is little tricky. The other question is, one bulb is put like this and the other bulb is put like this, A, B in series with a 220 volt supply. Okay, now this 220 doesn't help me in any way. Does it help me? Why? Is this bulb getting 220 volts? No, it is getting part of 220 volt or not? Like a series resistance circuit. Remember that question, 11 here, 11 there, 6 there. It gets only a part of the total voltage or not? This also gets a part of the total voltage or not? This voltage plus that voltage would be 220. So since this is not on rated voltage, it will not give rated power. So we can't expect 100 watts to be coming out from that bulb and 60 from the other one. It would be reduced or increased? Reduced, because the voltage is reduced. Now how to get it? To get it, we'll have to solve this circuit as if we were solving a simple resistance circuit. Suppose I was solving this circuit 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 10 volt battery. How much is the heat given out by this and that in T time? What will you do? You'll find the R. I'll come to that. You'll find the I, current going in this. How much is the current going in this? 10 divided by 5, which is 2 ampere. Okay, then I'll do a I square R for this. How much will that be? 2 square into 2. 8 watt from this and 2 square into 3. 12 watt from that. Totally will get 20 watt from this circuit. Get the point? Quite easy. Get the point? So we have to do a similar thing over there. we'll have to find the resistance, then we'll have to find the current and do a I square R. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now the main issue is how to get the resistance of the bulb. How to get the resistance of the bulb? Anybody? Yeah, what? Tell me. How to get the resistance of the bulb? What will be the value of the resistance of bulb A? 484, right. See, the rating of the bulb is 100 watt on 220 volts. What does it mean? That if you have a 220 volt supply and you put this bulb A, it will give out how much? 100 watts. That is what is the meaning or not? Using these figures, I can find out the resistance of this bulb or not. Now once I found out the resistance of this bulb, whether I put the bulb in the circuit or not, whether I put the bulb in this circuit, the resistance is not going to change. Voltage may change, power may change, everything will change. But can the resistance of a bulb change? Why? Because resistance is dependent on the material of the filament, the length of the filament, the cross-sectional area of the filament, the resistivity of the filament, remember, but nothing else, right? So the resistance of the bulb, we can find it using the rated power, rated voltage, and then use the resistance as whatever value we get in the circuit where we want to use it. Here's the point. Is it clear? Is it clear? So even though this bulb is not being put in such a circuit where it would have given your rated power, but still I can get the resistance using those values. What is the power and resistance relation? V square by R. Okay. So power it is giving 100, rated power is 100, rated voltage is 220. So square of that divided by R. So what do you get your R as? Resistance of this bulb is RA is equal to 220 square by 100. I will not cancel that 220 at all. Even though if I get a 22 in the denominator, I will still not cancel it. Leave it as it is. Okay. In the end it will get cancelled. If it doesn't get cancelled there, at that time you start multiplying. Get the point? Do not start cancelling even though it is quite easy over here. Similarly, the resistance of this bulb is how much? Resistance of this bulb is how much? Bolo bolo. RB is equal to 220 square by 60. Okay. Now I will do this question as simple resistance A, resistance B. Okay. So the resistance A is RA over here and resistance B is RB over here. How much current will come out? Total resistance will be RA plus RB. Okay. Understand clearly. If you are not getting, ask me, because next question I will give you a very similar question with smaller values. These values are too big, 220, this and that. But unfortunately yesterday I gave the same value, so I am giving you the same values. Get the point? Next question I will give you a smaller value. So the total resistance of this circuit is R is equal to RA plus RB. I am not writing the values because they are so much, I mean it's a trouble writing those things. So the current flowing is equal to V divided by R or not? Right? So the current coming out of the battery is 220 divided by 220 square divided by 100 plus 220 square divided by 60. Is it clear? At least 220 gets cancelled. You can take 220 square common and cancel 220. Right? So it is equal to 1 divided by, I took 220 square common and wrote it as 1 by 100 plus 1 by 60, and 220 got cancelled with the top. Is it clear? Is this the current or not? It's a big figure, but that's the current or not? In your exams you will get easy values, don't worry. So this is the current. What's the next job? How much is the power coming out from this bulb and that bulb? I square, this square into R of this will be the answer for this, and I square into R of that will be the answer for that one. I am not going to write it. Is it clear? Is it clear? What is the total power coming out? You have to add the 2. Okay, I'll write it. Power A is equal to I square RA, which is equal to RA was how much? 220 square by 100. Two 220 square gets cancelled. This is I square, this square, that square. 220 square gets cancelled or not? What do you get? Write it with your own hand, you will get it, okay? Don't look on the board. This is what you get. Power from bulb A. So you see I have never cancelled the 220, it eventually gets cancelled. So keep it as it is, it will not matter. Okay? This was your current part, I square, and this was your RA. Similarly, PB will be equal to I square, same current is going through that, into RB. How much is that? You do the same calculation, this becomes 220 square by 60, and you get 1 by 100 plus 1 by 60 into 60 over there. There is a square over here, square, because of the I square. Okay? Huh? Okay? Shall I rub this? I was your this, or I'll write it over there. Total power is PA plus PB. PA plus PB, if I add, look very carefully. This part is common, that part is common in both. So I can write it as 1 upon 1 by 100 plus 1 by 60 square is common. From the first one I get 1 by 100, and from the second one I get 1 by 60. Right? Right. So if you carefully see, this gets cancelled. A square gets cancelled with that. And what you get eventually is 1 by 100, 1 upon 1 by 100 plus 1 by 60. This you do with your own hand, then only you will understand. Okay? Write carefully what is in the numerator, what is in the denominator. Don't copy. This is your P. This is your P value. This is your P value. So 1 by P, I can write, if I reciprocate this, 1 by P will be ulta of this. This goes on top and that goes on bottom. It becomes 1 by 100 plus 1 by 60. It was nothing but the power of the first bulb plus 1 by power of the other bulb. Okay, so this formula will be told to you that if you put the bulbs in series, their power becomes 1 by P1 plus 1 by P2. Unlike your resistance formula, it is R1 plus R2, no. And resistance in parallel, it is 1 by R1. In parallel, we are seeing, when we put the bulbs in parallel, we are seeing P1 and P2 we are putting in parallel, we are seeing that the total power is P1 plus P2 or not. And when we are putting the bulbs in series, P1 and P2, the total power comes as 1 by P1 plus 1 by P2. So reverse of the resistance formula. But, okay, write it down. But the thing is, No, don't write, but the thing is, have you written this? Is it done? It's done, right? So you will say, when it was such a easy thing that 160 put in series, the total answer is 1 by 100 plus 1 by 60. Why to go through all this? The point is, the formula, what we are getting, you should not be using it. Not because of ethics, we should not use formula, we should derive this and that. That is one thing. But because of the fact that this formula works in very, very limited conditions. What is the condition? The bulbs should have the same rating, first of all. Get the point? Both the bulbs should have same voltage rating, and then they should be put across a battery which is also of the same rating. So that is quite impossible in practical life. Okay? If you are using bulbs not in accordance with their rating, then you would be using in any ways. Getting the point? So if the bulbs were of the same rating and they were applied across a battery of the same rating, then only the formula of 1 by P is equal to 1 by P1 plus 1 by P2 works. Otherwise, if all the three things doesn't match, what you will do is, you will have to calculate the resistance. This looks very big. This looks big because what I have done is, I have not cancelled anything out anywhere, just to show you that the formula is 1 by P1 plus 1 by P2. If you would have calculated the values, it is 1 or 2 lines only. As a small circuit I drew over there, 2 ohm, 3 ohm resistance. Get the point? It is as simple as that. The values also given to you would be simple. But just to show you that the formula is that, I have kept all the values together, not multiplied anything, and we are getting that thing. So the steps are, if the bulbs are not working on the rated potential difference, then what you have to do is, find out the resistance of the bulb using their rated value, then forget their rated value altogether. 160, forget it altogether. Get the point? Forget it, and what you have to do is, you have to solve the circuit as a simple resistance and battery circuit. This resistance, that resistance, find out the current and find out I square R. Is it clear? Is it clear? So one question on this, and then that's it. There is one more type that is very easy, very simple. So one question you do without any hint. 1 second. Write down the question at least. There are three bulbs. Three bulbs. Two of them have the rating. Two of them have the rating.
ये वेंसडे वाला संडे वाले दिन
ठीक
कल लेंगे
ठीक है
ठीक है और इनकी क्लास 5 o'clock की है राइट
हाँ
ये पूछ रहे
अभी ब्रेक चल रहा है क्या?
नहीं 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 मेरी तो क्लास चल रही है
नहीं दे सकते मैं पूछ रहा हूँ
दे चुकी हूँ मैं।
अच्छा अच्छा ओके ओके ठीक या where was I? Two of them have the rating 9 volt 9 watt and the third one, there are two bulbs AA of the same rating and the third bulb B has the rating 9 volt 12 watt. Okay? It is put like this: bulb A, bulb B, battery and bulb A. Okay? Bulb A, bulb B and the battery and this one. Okay, B, it is 12 volt, 12 watt, okay? 12 volt, 12 watt. It's a 9 volt battery. Suppose, what? 9 volts. 9 volt is a battery. So you have to find the total power. You'll do at home, right? I'll just tell you orally what you have to do is, this bulb A is having how much voltage across it? 9 volt. What is the rating? 9 volt. So you don't have to do a thing about it. It is going to give you the rated watt, which is 9 watt. You have to find the total watt of the circuit, okay? Now what is the voltage across these two? Together is 9. Individually it is not 9, hence you'll have to do something. Get the point? So whether this bulb is there or not, the voltage across this is 9 volt. So you can solve with the bulb or you can solve without the bulb. It is easier to solve without the bulb. With the bulb you'll have to take this also resistance and the current will get divided. Eventually what current has to go there will go there. Get the point? So whether you have this in the circuit or not, the current going in this will be the same. Reason being 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 6 volt battery. All three. Okay. See, if you have such a situation, 6 volt, 3 ohm and 2 ohm, how much current is going in this? 3 amperes. How much current? 2 ampere. Suppose I remove this resistance. The current going in this will be still 3 ampere or not? Voltage across that is still 3 or not? So removing or adding things in parallel doesn't change the current in that. Suppose I switch off that fan, what will happen? Will any of the tube light glow brighter or darker? No. Dimmer or brighter? No. Right? So the total current coming out of the battery may change. 5 ampere is coming now, I remove this, only 3 will come. But the current going in that will be that itself. Similarly over here, whether I have this bulb in parallel or not, doesn't change the circuit. So you have to solve it simply, you can rub it off. Then you have to find the resistance of this using the rated value, V square by R is P, and similarly for this, the rated value will give you the resistance. Then forget about that they were bulbs, solve the circuit as if they were resistances and find out the I square R for each resistance. That is it, okay? One question of a similar kind will come tomorrow, 100%. Get the point? And the last one is Last one is based on your commercial unit of energy. That is kilowatt hour. What do you mean? What is energy? Joule is a unit of energy or not? Joule is energy which is equal to power into time or not? Which is equal to watt into second or not? Watt into second is called your joule. So similarly, but this joule is a very small unit of energy. If I try to see how many joules of energy I use in a month, it would be lakhs and lakhs of joules. Get the point? Get the point? So we use a larger unit of energy for commercial purpose. Okay. So what is that? Instead of watt as power, I will use kilowatt. I have increased it substantially, and instead of second, I will use hour. So kilowatt hour is also a unit of energy, right? Kilowatt hour. It is not power. It is energy. But how much it is in terms of joule? It is 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1000 watt into 3600 seconds. So how much is that? 36, 2, 3, 4, 5 watt second. Watt second is what? Watt second is joules. So many joules is 1 kilowatt hour. Okay. So the question based on this is something of this kind. Write it down. Do it and go. Very small I'll give you. In a household there is a bulb, 100 watt bulb used for 20 hours daily. 100 watt bulb used for 20 hours daily, comma 200 watt television used for 5 hours daily. 200 watt television, TV used for 5 hours daily. 2000 watt geyser. 2000 watt geyser used for 2 hours daily, 2 hours, and 2000 watt AC used for 10 hours daily. Okay. Calculate the electricity bill you are paying per month if the charges are rupees 10. What? Yeah, calculate the electricity bill you are paying per month if the charges are rupees 10 per commercial unit. Per commercial unit of energy. Per unit of energy. What is commercial unit of energy? Kilowatt hour. Okay, do it fast. If nothing is mentioned, month you will take as 30 days. Okay, if nothing is mentioned, don't think of 31 this, that, which month you are writing the test, not like that. Okay, just take 30 days. Yeah, do it right now, fast. It's a very small question, do it fast.